Hello, party people. First and foremost, this is what the video is going to be about. If you don't know what this is, it's about 46 pages. Is about what it is. Double space. So, basically, 23 pages single space. Sorry about that. Before I forget, I do want to shout out my good buddy who I frequently shout out to on this channel. His name is eGeorge _, or I think that's it. I'll put the link in the description of his YouTube and if I remember the Twitch and whatever other links. But there's something I want to talk about, because a lot of people out there, not necessarily YouTubers, but maybe Twitchers as well, they have an evolution of their channel, and I don't want to say I've been in the same spot, but I actually don't mind being in the same spot. I mean, like, okay, so George, he knows how to play the drums, and obviously he wants to keep that talent sharp, as most musicians do. And his channel has evolved into him taking song requests and just practicing his drumming. Now, he was already going to practice that anyway, so if he streams it or, records it, then, it's just an added incentive. Is it necessary? No, of course not. But if you're going to do it anyway, why not try it out? So, if you ask me what my channel evolution is, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what category this is going to fall under my YouTube channel, but I'll find a spot for it. So this is chapter 9. It's called I Remember Her, period. Not like I remember her, period, but the punctuation of a period. Okay. Okay, so this is a page, I don't know, this has got to be page 45, 46. I'm just going to show you a little bit of what I have. I was going to show earlier parts, but I had to remake this video because I realized that someone could have figured out whose chapter this was about. Is there a lot of X bashing in this book, in my books in general? Yes, of course. I mean, why not? I thought that was the whole point of writing a book, was to bash your exes. Okay, so seriously, so I restarted the video and I'm reapproaching it from this angle. So every now and then, when I return to working on my book, I'll just throw in some randomness in there, and I make it. It's not that I make it how I want to make it seem. I make it into how I feel the way it is. So there's no acting involved in the writing of this book. Are there situations where I would just like to write about some other random thing to avoid the topic that sometimes I want to write about, sometimes I don't? So basically, if you are watching an anime, right? This is basically filler space in some parts of it, but is it meaningful to me? Yes. Will it be meaningful to other people? I hope so. So I'm going to start here in this most recent paragraph. Unrelated, but the UFC and MMA in general are just amazing. I'm watching right now. I feel like it is like love and war. Everything can be so calculated. It's as much of a mind game as the body. I've been starting to miss it. I'm talking about being in love. It's the greatest emotion, to devote your very being to another person. It's very romantic and noble, in sickness and in health. I've got some relatives who need to be reminded of that. If you didn't want it to be forever, you should never have gotten married. The old generation does what the old generation wants to do. Actually, they do what they were taught and supposed to do. There was no alternative. Grow up, get a job, get married. There has to be more to life than that. I hope there is. I hope to find it. So now we're gonna start from here. I usually get warmed up that way. I'm gonna. What time are we approaching now? 5 minutes. I think this will be like a 10 or 15-minute video. So that's up to you guys if you want to hang around. But I know how boring this might seem to some people who aren't interested. But I will let you guys know this is one of my few or so long distance relationships as this is supposed to be about, and obviously I'm trying to fill in for content here. But we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Okay. Usually after coming back from the book after a break, I try to work on this book every 2 or 3 days. Sometimes, if I can, more. Other times it's just I don't really look forward to it. Like I have to miss it to want to go back to it. And if I saw it every day, it'd be me staring at the screen, because I don't want to say my realm of knowledge becomes tapped, but that there's only so much I can give in one session, as opposed to in terms of one session every day, as opposed to like one session every few days after taking a break, etc. Sometimes a couple of days, sometimes every other day. So I'm gonna start right here. I just thought about this and I think I'll use it. Okay, I'm recording from my for my YouTube channel right now. I'll put a question mark on that. They are watching me, I guess we'll say, write this book. I may have run out of ideas for now. However, this could be some decent filler space. I am not sure why I am writing this part of this book in this chapter. If I could say with my last breath what I want to say to my YouTube channel, what would I say? I would tell these party people to take care of themselves and each other. For those of you who don't know, that closing comments is from a show a lot of people of the current generation might not recognize, but it was a relatively large part of my generation. I'm talking about the Jerry Springer show. Jerry Springer. What the hell? I can't think. That's where that closing remark comes from. I don't think a lot of people knew that, but I think it's a really good line if I wanted to end a talk show. Imagine me having a talk show. I guess I actually have to talk if that's what the show is about. But and put that in caps. But specifically, what theme would my show have? I could be like Maury and focus mainly on paternity tests, determining who is the father. Is like, this is just generally how my flow of thoughts go. And like, is it unorganized? Yes, but do I want it that way? Yes, I do. Not that it has to be cryptic or anything, but I'm just saying. All right, we're gonna knock out a couple more paragraphs, and then I'll leave it up to you guys to what you want to say about this. But you know what? Someone told me a long time ago. I will not become a best-selling author until after I die, because that's sometimes it's true in literature. Sometimes that happens. Like where someone's book might not be appreciated until after their death. Maybe it takes a while to build steam. I don't know. Okay, so maybe I would talk about how corrupt society can be. For example, the X of this chapter, I'm not sure what to say. Is me even saying an X appropriate? Damn it. Sometimes I type too fast than I actually think. I mean, I guess we sort of were just talking, but does that mean it was anything more than a conversation? Did I mean something to this person? Or was I just another notch in the so-called belt? I think that's decent right there. I think that's decent. This is what happens after like a couple days of not working on this book. I get like, I don't want to say I get inspiration. I would say I sort of build up slowly, and it slowly just gets bigger and bigger until I realize I should probably put this in my book, because it will go to waste if I don't remember it or forget it. So this is what I've been thinking about the past couple of days about this particular chapter. And that is the unfortunate thing, as I alluded to in one of my previous videos, is that writing this book, yes, it helps me re-experience good things that happened in my life, but it also helps me re-experience the bad things, the negative things, the disheartening things. And that is an unintended result and consequence of writing something that is semi-autobiographical, if not fully. So this is what I have right here. Now, is it just rambling to an extent? Of course. Would I have written this down if I felt like it didn't belong here? I would have written this down because I do feel like it belongs here. And I say this all the time. This is my book. Let's look at Russell Westbrook, right? Point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers. One time when he was on the Oklahoma City Thunder, I believe that was his first team. If not, I'm not sure if he was on the Seattle Supersonics, but I know he's definitely on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And he was averaging a triple-double more games than he was not, which is a pretty impressive record. Some reporter made a comment to him one day and was like, Russ responded and he said, if you think this is that easy to get a triple-double every night, every game, then why don't you do it? And I know it was him just being annoyed with the media, the reporters every once in a while. But I mean, he has a point. I'm not even a huge fan of his, but like, did he get those triple doubles because he has good teammates? Not good in the sense of their skill, but good in the sense that, I don't want to say this outright, but like hypothetically, if Steven Adams could have went for the rebound, why would he let Russ get the rebound? Why would he just let him get it? Because he sort of knew. See, I think his teammates sort of knew what was going on. Was that Russ was planning on carrying them into the playoffs to the point where, as far as he could push, he would go. But in return, he would get the stats he wanted and needed to get to break that record. Now, that is just my theory. I have no evidence of backing that up. I have, in the past, I watched some of the games, and I did notice that no one else was really going for whatever rebound. Like, there was a lot of passing when Russ was still a pretty decent shooter. Not like these days, but it was very suspicious. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know how we started talking about basketball, but... Sorry, my mouth gets really dry during this. Okay. What else can we say here? Video's going longer than I was anticipated. How do I say what I want to say without sounding, quote, mean? Not that that's a bad thing to have in one's autobiographical material, but I'm honestly not trying to expose or badmouth anyone. This is just how I feel. Sometimes it feels like I can't properly express how I feel without being misunderstood. I hope no one questions my intentions, but I do hope, yes I do, that they can analyze and judge me fairly based on what I say, the way I say it. Alright, one more paragraph and we'll probably call it a night for this particular video. So I hope you guys get like an idea of like how I'm trying to approach this, where we're constantly going on topic, off topic, repeatedly. Now, some people might think that makes it confusing. Do I think that? No. This is the essential problem. I can project what is in my head onto this document. The problem is the document does not always project the way I want it to into the reader's mind. The reader could potentially think I'm being sarcastic about certain things when I'm not, and vice versa. What can I do at the end of the day? I can ask my editor myself, and so basically I'm gonna go through a run through from I'm estimating I'll probably hit around 75 double space chapters near the end of this particular section of not this chapter, but this, section of the book. It might seem like that's the entire book, but like when I do the run through, I'll usually add stuff and whatnot. Will I take things out? Probably not. I'm a strong believer that everything someone writes down, and they want it to be written down, or else they wouldn't have written it down in the first place, should be edited, but in a high percentage of the time, it should not be removed. And that's just not me just being obsessive. Of course, to a certain extent it does, but the major extent is that I'm trying to show, as simply as it is to say this, I'm trying to show how I feel. And if that steps on certain toes, if that bothers some other people who think this chapter is about them, I bet you think this book is okay. All right, let's go back to this. Yeah, long distance relationships are not a favorable situation to be in, if you ask me. I'm sure a decent of the population feels that way as well. Decent portion, decent how did that know I was going to say decent percentage of the population feels that way as well. Dude, this computer's reading my mind. Anyway, some classical paranoia right there. Anyway. What hurts the most was being so close. Just kidding. That's a good song though. Seriously though. How often do I say that? How can I... What's the word for verbalize except when it's on, like in a book? Transcribe? Sure, why not? Transcribe. How I feel without being misunderstood. That question has plagued me throughout anything and everything I have ever written. You guys gotta appreciate this. This is like history in the making here. When this becomes a bestseller, it's supposed to be off the wall and random, because this is an insight into the turbulent world that I call my mind, my mental state. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I do hope that this book is received without confusion or ill intent? Was I hurt because of the beginning, the course, and of course the ending of these relationships? From the end of could have been crazy to the end of could have been crazier. That's a long question. I forgot that was a question. So how can I say what I want to say, how I want it to be said? %. Honestly, I'm really not trying to bash anyone, whether it be an ex or not. I'm trying to learn and realize the error of my ways and why things played out the way they played out. This is some stream of conscious, oh shit, how do you spell that? Consciousness. Is it not? His fucking mouth is getting dry. So I think this was a decent session. Not to say it's over, but I'm starting to feel honestly, I'm starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed by some of this. I know it doesn't seem like it, but these are the memories of my life, and I'm putting them supposedly, on paper, because I don't want to lose them. I want to be able to pick up one of my physical books and be like, hey, I remember that. Maybe so and so will be able to relate to this. I would hope. So, you know how I like to indicate to my audience when I have left and or returned from a break of writing this book. Well, I don't want to make it seem like I'm taking a lot of intentional breaks. It's just that this is draining sometimes. To revisit these experiences can be not as dramatically traumatic, but it does make old wounds swell up, so to speak. And that's not a good feeling sometimes. Of course, everything cannot be all sunshine and lollipops. But if I could give that to the readers that want that, then of course I would. But is that really what I want as the author? Is that really what I want to leave? Is that really what I want? Okay, anyway. Is that really what I want to leave as my legacy? As this legacy? Hopefully, whichever side, ideally both sides of the families on my parents' respective sides, and hopefully people I have called friends, will pick this book up and gain something, anything from this book and previous and future books. Is that so much to ask? And I don't know how to answer that. At least not without rubbing some people the wrong way. I don't want that to happen. But will it? Probably. Because that's what human beings do. And on the written page, with the written words, I am not sure I can accurately reflect the feelings that I feel without without feeling okay, what's the word I'm looking for here? Without feeling insincere. Or mistaken. That's why emotions and even emojis are so important. Because there are things one can interpret from the way a person's voice sounds versus whatever you call this that I am typing now. What would I call this? I would call it a visit, a romp, and a that's what happens sometimes. My eyes get so tired because the screen is so bright. What's the last word I'm looking for to complete this trilogy here? I would call it a visit, a romp, and a adventure. Oh, venture. Let's go adventure. Into my psyche. Did I spell that right? Is that really the right way? Okay, I'll double check that later. So I think I'm tapped for this one. Like, I know it might not seem like I wrote a lot, but this is the fucking process, you know. I wish I could make you guys understand, but if anyone out there has written a book themselves and they want me to read it, I'll take a look at it. Or if you want me to buy it, you know, assuming it's not that expensive, but you know, I'll check it out. Maybe I'll check out the preview if it's on Amazon or something. That's where generally most of my books will end up, probably on the Amazon Kindle self-publishing pages. Well, this video has gone on way too long, but I hope you guys have sort of gotten some insight. I hope you learned something about how I express myself on paper versus right now, literally talking to a screen. But, you know, not everyone cannot be double negative, cannot be misunderstood. Alright. Thanks for watching, guys, and listening and reading. Take care of yourselves and each other, as Jerry Springer would say.